sigil bearer of Tarsville, you mean?
You shouldn't say something like that.
Did I say something? Anyway. I have to go. The Archmagister needs help with something.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people
Yeah?
of this holy city.
Hey! You're an adventurer, aren't you?
Hear my words, O path.
Hey! You're an adventurer, aren't you?
An outlander. What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, somewhere else?
My sir.
This is too dangerous, whatever they want here. If we send spies and they get caught, Neren will see this as a provocation.
Poor, poor people. All they did was invade a foreign country, and look how ruthless we are, sending spies in order to find out why they're here. We should be ashamed.
Save the sarcasm. We both know what I mean. You know my opinion, Tila.
I will consider it. You come at the right time, Prophet. Commander, explain the situation.
Of course, Grandmaster.
Yesterday, we received word from one of our outposts in Duneville. One of the fishermen there saw warships anchoring on an island some miles from shore. And they bear the Neremese flag.
We have already sent scouts to confirm this, and it is true. The Neremese have invaded our land. We have a suspicion. I suppose you know that the civil war in Nerem has ended 2 months ago. And who won it? The combined forces of the Northern and the Middle Realm, led by Taranor Korek of Kabait. The Southern rebels and the remnants of the Creator's Temple have been destroyed, once and for all. Now Nerem has been united under the banner of the Free People of Nerem, how they like to call themselves, and this could be the reason for these warships. Because of this Korek.
It is said that he helped Narathzul Aranthiel shortly before the Lightborn were slain. And while before that, he was an opportunist who changed his ideals as often as his underpants. It seems that his crusade with Narathzul converted him, so to speak. He has become a declared enemy of religion.
He also thinks of the death of the gods as the first step of many. And now he sees it his task to rid Vin of religion once and for all. Free the world from the scourge of faith. These are his words.
Though it is worth mentioning that his understanding of freeing includes mass executions and the burning down of temples. He's a fanatic, and worse, his men worship him for it. What he wants is to found a new world, and his free people of Nerem are supposed to be vanguard of it. Correct.
What Korek doesn't understand is that we're doing this to prevent a crisis. Not before the High Ones have been stopped. The civil war on Kile, Nerem, and Arazial shows what chaos such a revelation can cause, and we will not take this risk. That is the problem. Pegast?
We believe that Korek already knows about the cycle and the cleansing. And that he, how should I put it, wants it to happen. Well, I know how strange this sounds, but in a way it makes sense. For him, Enderal as the home of the Holy Order is the epitome of ignorance and stagnation. And we suppose he even knows that we are fighting these High Ones. But in his eyes, everything a paragon of the old order tries to prevent from happening must be something good. Maybe he even sees the High Ones as prophets of his new era. Who knows? Fanatics are unpredictable.
Right now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know. Yes. Do you know what a silver plate is? They are relics from Arctwend. What makes them unique is their power to transfer sound. Every plate has a counterpart, and if someone standing near one plate says something, the one standing near the other one hears it too. Our plan is to place 2 of the plates in their camp. That way we can sound them out without risk. You, Firespark, and the mercenary, Dalvarek. However, you cannot travel to the island by ship. That would be too conspicuous.
We found out that the Pyreans had some kind of underground transporting system. Undertrains, that's what they called them. These trains connected the most important regions of the realm with each other, and thus probably also the temple on the island where Korek's ships set anchor. If we can manage to find one of these trains, we could use them to get right to his camp. And, as it happens, we have information about a Pyrean temple in the Crystal Forest. One that is still intact enough for us to find a way into one of these trains.
The living temple.
That's how you call it, yes. But enough of the chit-chat. First of all, we need to find the gem that is used to open the gate of the temple. And I have a guess where we could find it. A village called Fogville, not far from the Whisperwood. As soon as possible. Joseph the mercenary has already traveled to Fogville, and you should do the same. I will meet you there.
So we are talking about accomplished facts, or what?
It is the only way. I'm sorry, Natara.
Walk west.
Prophet, I'm counting on you. Find out why Corey is here.
Transcribe verse 80 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Magisters never change.
One day, Naya.
Pathlessness,
One day.
wherever you
Huh?
look. Where is this supposed to be?
As if they'd ever listen to me.
Yes?
To do.
Walk blessed, Fred. Sure. Where to?
Blasted blistering blazes! What the heck took you so long? We've been waiting for ages.
But you only just...
What matters now is that we find the gem that opens the temple doors. You two take care of that. I'll go ahead to the temple and inspect the gate. Any questions? No? Then beat it.
It helps to know what something looks like if you're supposed to find it. At least that's what I've been told.
I already told you that. A small, red gem. If it's around here somewhere, and I'm quite certain it is, you should maybe search for it at the village treasury. Now get going. I'll see you at the temple.
Well then, huh? About Fogville? Yeah, quite a lot actually. The story's always fascinated me. You haven't heard of it, I take it. What do you want to know? Yeah, and that's about what happened. How can I say this without going beyond the scope? The short version, the villagers lost their minds. It all started when they officially renounced Malphas and the righteous path. Then, more and more travelers started disappearing, and surprisingly, a lot of their corpses were found close to the village, dumped in the forest like slaughtered cattle. That was when the Order couldn't ignore this issue any longer and sent a division of guards to end the madness, whatever that's supposed to look like. But when these guards arrived, they were greeted by frenzied villagers, who were armed to the teeth and jumped on the guards like rabid dogs. Most of them were killed, but one made it back to the temple. Well, and that's almost the end of the story. When the guards returned, they were almost the size of an army, but still the villagers charged right at them. You can imagine the result. Yes, it was. It turned out they sacrificed them. Later, when the Order searched Fogville for what could have caused all this, they found a hidden hexagonal room in the temple, which looked like the Fogvillers built it themselves. It was strange. There were exactly 6 paintings, one on each wall, and they all depicted unholy scenes, whatever that may mean. Anyway, it seemed that the travelers were sacrificed there. Heck knows why. As I said, they were mad, and this is also how they fought, regardless of the consequences. Plus, this place isn't exactly easily charged. Just look at all the walls. It's almost a fortress. Well, the most common one is the proximity to the Whisperwood. We all know what these spores do to the human mind. So maybe unfavorable winds over several moons? Who knows? At least that's the official explanation. Some conspiracy theorists see a connection to the Butcher of Ark. Exactly. Strange guy, to say the least. You know, shortly before he killed himself, he left an autobiography. And even though the Order officially forbids owning it, there are collectors who established an entire cult around that Tanderson character. There's a lot of speculation going on about this entire myth, and some of it's quite bizarre and morbid, if you ask me. Anyway. Keep your chin up. That was quick. Any luck? Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Well, then I guess that means off to the temple. You ready? Good. Then lead the way.
Never walk back on the road from
To flee.
so easy. And that's it. The Crystal Forest. Beautiful, isn't it? The temple should just be a few miles up the hill. Oh, it's an old legend. Apparently this temple has some kind of consciousness, so to speak. That's also the reason for the weird vegetation around here. Yep. Now, come on. Don't make it so easy.
Well, well, that was quicker than expected. Did you find the gem? Show me. Well, I'll be damned, that's the one. Then I suppose it's time for me to tell you some things about the temple. Maybe you've already heard the Enderalian legend about this place. It's said that this temple is alive, and that the entire forest is some kind of sensory organ of it. Heareth his whispers, sung from the trees, dreadeth his gaze, blah blah blah, you get the idea. Though most folk legends are superstitious nonsense, this one has a true core. The temple does indeed have a consciousness of some sort. That has, however, less to do with some suicidal lover's tragic fates, but with a Pyrean defense mechanism. The Stone Heart. It works because the Pyreans found a way to conjoin something immaterial with a human soul. That doesn't need to be a building like it is here. It can also be a sword or an amulet. The bound ones, as those whose consciousness was transferred were called, suffered atrocious pain during the ritual, but when it worked, they practically achieved immortality.
Well, that's consoling.
It's a terrible fate, yes, but we all know that with the right religious blathering, humans can be convinced to do just about anything. However, don't get the wrong idea. These bindings were unusual. Not every Pyrean had a relative living in his frying pan, so to speak. Only a very few arcanists, mainly those of the Ishian caste, were able to perform them. In other words, bound places or objects were extremely rare. This temple is one of them. I doubt that it's resting, witnessing the downfall of one's own civilization, and since then being forced to hang around in an extinct world hardly has a positive effect on one's sanity. But we'll see. Go ahead, put the gem in the socket over there. Perfect. Then let's go, and keep your weapons ready. The undertrain will be the level of the temple. At least, if Lushishi's theories are true.
One question, Meister Firespark. Why me?
Why what?
This is the third time that you've hired me, and my pay isn't exactly humble. Why?
What do you want to hear? A love song? You're a drunkard and a scrounger, but you do your work and you do it good. The day I put my faith in one of these God's lambs will be the day I dance naked through the upper city, singing hymns of praise to the Lightborn.
I'd like to see that.
I'm sure you would. Now shut your mouth. Our entrance was everything but subtle, but we at least don't have to shout at this temple in the face, where it has to trigger the next trap. mystery blazes. Does this never end? A junction. Seems that we have to... wait a moment. There's something written here. Chuijara nem Yoresa nem gan tila bayara. Interesting.
Yes?
I'm translating. Lashery could do a better job with that. Age takes its toll, I suppose, but... I think that means something like the warrior, the wise man, and the dark one together wield the light. Ah, and look at the inscription above the doorways. Chuijara, Hjoresa, Gandila. The warrior, the wise man, and the dark one.
Sounds to me that there's something we need at the end of each of these tunnels to go further. To the light, whatever that is.
Brilliant deduction. That means we have to split up. Do you see the pressure plates in front of the doors? To me, it looks as if each of us has to stand on one to open the gates. I should take the path of the wise man. What about you, Joseph?
The warrior?
Good. That leaves you the path of the dark one. Off we go then. We'll meet again at the light. Come on, step on the pressure plates.
My door's open. Constantine?
Mine too. Then let's go.
There you are. Where is Bushybeard, though? Have you seen him somewhere? A scream? But... wait. Do you hear that? That's his voice. He got here before we did, but he didn't wait. Why the heck would he do that? Not really, no. Come on, let's take a look. What the heck? Hello? Meister Firespark.
Shijara Nem Lohem Sharath. She showed me. She showed me. She showed me all. She. See, the temple. She let me look through the window of time, and I saw it. All of it. The high ones, the light, the burnt flesh everywhere. Yes, and they're with us here and now, everywhere and always. And no matter what we do, we can't hide. Do you understand? We can't.
Meister, you're not yourself. Just calm down and we can...
No, stay away from me. You don't understand. You can't understand. She's so sad. So sad and so full of wrath because we chose to close our eyes rather than see. Because we refuse to understand.
Understand what? You're not making any sense.
That it's us. We are sin. Don't you see? And there's only one way to end it.
What? No, no! Put that away! This is madness!
Madness? What we do is madness. This is the only way to break the cycle. One glance was enough to understand her suffering. To understand that there's no other solution than ultimate death. One day, you will understand that. You too, fleshless one. And now, we have to die. It won't change much. But maybe it will make her just a little happier. Forgive me. But why?
That was... what the heck? Why by the wise hermit would he do that? His eyes. I've never seen anything like that. You mean he was possessed? I don't know. I always thought the possessed have a red shimmer in their eyes when it gets bad. He didn't. And what was that talk about making her happy? Did he mean the temple? My. This doesn't get better. We'll need to tell the Order about it. Now, let's push on. At least we should find this train. We owe Firespark that much. Yeah, you're right. Come on, let's find a shovel. Or something like that. now? Such chaos. Nature takes back what belongs to her. Let's hope the tunnels of this undertrain aren't flooded too. Wait, I know that smell. Stay here. Where did we find Yarrow's wife? Yarrow's companion. Where did we find her coffin? Please, just do me a favor and answer. Just do it. Then it really is you. Good question. Best you take a look for yourself. I'll wait here. So, any explanations? An illusion. Yes, of course. Created by this bloody temple. Or maybe even the High Ones. Yes, of course. That must be it. They're trying to confuse us. By the wise hermit, they'll do just about anything, won't they? This is just wrong. This is crazy. Ugh. Well, working with you is definitely an experience, to say the least. We should push on, find that stupid train. I just want to get out of this place as quickly as possible. bullseye. Seems like the water spared the train. It's beautiful in a way, don't you think? I bet every Arcanist would give his left hand just to get a look at it. And we're about to use it. Only thing left to do now is find out how. Seems to me that we first have to open this gate and reactivate the mechanism that powers this place. I'll take a look around. Try and find something that lets us open the gate. This is crazy. Just crazy. Go on inside and take a seat, okay? I'll see if I can get the train running somehow. It can't be too hard. Ta-da! Yes, I'm amazing. I know that. If being a merc doesn't work out in the long run, maybe I'll ask the Order to hire me as an expert on Pyrean railways. But no guarantee this thing won't drive us right into the next abyss. Anyway, I guess even with this thing, it should be a while till we arrive. Let's make ourselves comfortable. Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I guess I just didn't know what to make of the situation. No idea. And please, save the subtle accusations, okay? If I reacted somewhat inappropriately, I'm sorry. But hey, I'm not the one whose corpse is lying around in some old ruin. Sorry about that. I'm a little on edge right now. No offense intended. If the High Ones were planning to confuse us, they definitely succeeded. We really should tell the Grand Master about this. And about what happened to Constantine. Still, we can't allow this to get inside our heads too much. What matters right now is the mission. And at least it stays exciting. Two daring adventurers who have gotten themselves into something they don't even remotely understand are plundering ancient ruins in search of treasure. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past. Of my childhood. Save for the crazed mages and the mysterious bodies, of course. My sister and I, when we were young, we always used to go exploring the caves near our manor. Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it. But of course, that didn't keep us from doing it again. Right. Because I never told you. Adila and I are not exactly close these days anyway. Probably because we lost our bond somehow, after our father died. Yes, he did. Together with my siblings. Actually, Adila and I are the only surviving Delverics. All the others were murdered. Well, now you know why. In a sad way, a part of me is actually glad everything happened the way it did back then. It made me into a man, and it showed me what kind of characteristics have a tendency to drastically shorten one's life. Stubbornness. My father was a judge in the tribunal, you know. He was a hard man, who at least, after our mother died while giving birth to Adila, lived for only one thing. His principles. Justice knows no compromise. That was his great creed. No matter who stood before him in court, my father treated them all the same. Damien Delveric, the epitome of justice. Yes, an extreme attitude for an extreme man. One day, the son of a highly regarded Archer Sublime stood before the 12 judges of the court. Valenzio Duran. He had murdered 2 whores, made them happy, as he called it, and it was obvious that he didn't feel so much as a hint of remorse. You know those kind of people, the ones who think that money and power entitle them to anything they want. Of course you can. 11 of the 12 judges voted for a verdict of not guilty, because they knew Valenzio's father was influential within the Relata. Only my father, of course, remained unshaken. 1 week later, our manor was robbed by 4 masked men who killed everyone. Servants, guards, my 2 older brothers, all of them. Officially, they were bandits, who just happened to be running around with blades made of shadow steel. My sister and I only survived because we had snuck out for one of our expeditions. Ironic, isn't it? Of course, it was the only logical consequence of my father's actions. And what good did it do in the end? None. As we speak, Valenzio's enjoying himself in some brothel, with 2 whores and a bowl of grapes. But you see, there's no point in being angry about this. And do you know why? Because this is just how the world works. There's no divine justice, no system through which it's decided who lives and who dies. There are decisions and there are consequences. That's it. This is also why there's absolutely no point in fighting for ideals, the greater good, or whatever else you want to call it. First of all, because no one will thank you for it, and second, because people are stupid. That's the one universal rule that there is to this world. No matter how much you try to accomplish something, in the end, stupid people will destroy all you've achieved with no more than a snap of their fingers. Fight for the moment, and the moment only. Because unlike everything else, you can be certain of its truth. Absolutely. If he had wanted to see this snob die so badly, there would have been other ways. Poison, an accident, a hired killer. Just a hint of common sense, that's all he would have needed. But, of course, none of that would have conformed with his sacred principles. Adela and I were still young when all this happened. A friendly family took us in, and my sister joined the Order of the Apothecary in the Frostcliff Mountains. But since then, we haven't been able to speak to one another. She raised a wall of ice around herself, so to speak, and fled into old family books and memories. But, anyway, enough about me. You're an orphan too, aren't you? How come? You never told me about that. You told me that the Creator's temple in Ostian had something to do with it, but what exactly happened? Dreams. Yeah. I've had my share of nightmares too. There was this one that plagued me for years. I'd be in some kind of hall, almost like a temple. Only that there were benches and aisles, like in a courtroom. My father sat on the judge's dais, but he was a corpse, and all the spectators and the jury looked like him. Anyway, there was this grotesque trial scene where he accused me of refusing to do my duty for them, and it always ended with his skin melting off like hot wax. Pretty messed up, I know. Eventually, the dream stopped, though. Someone helped me with that. But anyway, enough of this gloomy talk for now. We should get some rest. We've still got a long ride ahead of us. Good night. Rise and shine, my friend. We have arrived. How'd you sleep? I fell asleep too, but it must have been 7 or 8 hours at least. Very interesting machine, this undertrain. Come on, let's take a look outside. Seems someone has prepared a welcome for us. Well, I'll be damned. This is Half Moon Isle. I can't believe it. And I guess that camp over there belongs to Taranor Korek. I suggest we split up. That way we'll still have a chance if they catch one of us. Here, this is your plate. I'll try going in from the east. You should go in from the west. And don't get caught, or try to play the hero, alright? Considering that we're up against an entire army, that's a bad idea, even for someone with your abilities. Anywhere inside the camp. But of course an officer's tent, or maybe even Korek's, would be ideal. We'll meet again here by sunrise.
If they refuse, then it means war. The gods have befouled the world with their ignorance long enough. You know, that would mean the deaths of thousands of innocents. No. Ever innocent. Religions are ideologies, and an ideology is a decision. Subjects who don't rebel against their tyrants are at least as guilty as the tyrants themselves. But let's see what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe that old fool Aranthial will listen to reason. For once.
urchin child who just won't stop struggling. Afraid? You amuse us, you know. How you refuse to give up. How you keep on fighting, even though deep down you know your struggle is futile. But still, you have come a long way. You have ignited the sigil stone, and you have found the beacon. And this, urchin child, this amuses us. Because nothing is more entertaining than a harvest which fights back. It makes things so much more exciting. So here's our offer, Prophet. Ask us whatever is on your mind, and we swear to answer truthfully. Or you can leave. It's up to you. That's up to you to decide. Come on, urchin. Ask or leave. In the end, you and your people will burn anyway. But sometimes, even the hope for deliverance alone has its merits. It's just what you think it is. A weapon that allows you to bring an end to all this. Fear, hate, joy. You assume we are thinking in human terms, Prophet. Yet, a true deity is more than a simple human able to throw fireballs, as your late Lightborn were. A true God is a state of being, and its existence alone forms reality according to its will. There were so many before you, and so many have found the weapon, yet still we exist, and the cleansing is imminent. What does this tell you? Lofty words. Hold on to the thought if it gives you strength. We know what you want to hear now. That you are special, that you have always been. But this is not true. You have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the truth is, you make our task easier. You are weak. They want to destroy the beacon. Amusing, isn't it? They are doing our work for us. Yes, but they are naive. They believe that the cleansing is a good thing, and that we, the High Ones, have come to raise humanity to a higher stage. Evolution. That is what they call it. Just as the lizard became a dragon, and the bird became a man. Their leader, Taranar Korek, thinks he is one of the emissaries, just like you. No, and neither is the old Aranviel. Korek considers himself a savior, chosen to guide humanity to a glorious future, but he does not understand that he is a victim of his own pride. We have never appeared to him like we did to you. You are the only figure of significance in this game, Prophet. Are you so blind? We are the envoys of determination, the constant of being, before which time itself bows down. The dream of one long dead, which is about to become reality, and that will lead you to your doom. Very well. Now Shu, continue your vain search, and forgive us for the pain.
Now!
My lord, he is awake.
Splendid. May I introduce you? To your left, there's Samael, my bodyguard, master of Ostian's arena for decades. And to your right, there's Blade Master Almus Ordan, the most gifted sword fighter of Nerim's north and commander of my troops. Furthermore, there's an entire garrison of elite soldiers outside. So, can I trust you to not do anything stupid? I want to talk to you, face to face, as civilized people do. No, not really. By the way, we have captured your friend as well. He's in a tent up in the camp, and we will compare your stories, so you'd better stick to the truth. Samael, take off the blindfold. Well then, I am Taranor of Korek's blood, former ruler of Kabiet, and now representative of the free peoples of Nerim, which you undoubtedly already knew. Who are you? That is who we are, yes. The civil war is over, and Nerim is once again united, free of tyranny and false gods. We don't follow a monarch anymore, and we do not pray to any idols, unlike people in this country. But we digress. Who are you? I see. And who sent you? And why? Just as I suspected. And how exactly...
My lord, I think you should see this.
Of course. We have taken the liberty of stripping you of your belongings. If you'll excuse me for a moment, please. A silver plate. I see. They were sent to spy on us.
Then let's kill them.
No. He was honest, and I am a man of my word. And actually... Actually, you have done us a favor. We can use the plates to present Aranthiel with our offer, without putting ourselves in danger.
What? How? What are these plates?
Old artifacts of the Pyreans. Their magic works like a sort of ear conch. Sounds are transferred from one plate to the other. And I strongly suspect that at this very moment, Taelor Aranthiel and Narathzel's traitorous heirs are gathered around the counterpart, waiting for someone to activate this plate. Aren't they? Samael, do you know how to use these plates? Excellent. Then activate it. I will talk to old Aranthiel. Let's hope that he will listen for once in his life. Otherwise, this will end in disaster. Taelor Aranthiel. I know that you are there and that you can hear me, so why don't we just stop playing games? As you wish, Grand Master. You can keep quiet, but you should be aware of who's going to pay for your arrogance.
Haven't you had enough war by now? After 2 decades?
2 decades of war that were necessary because your god suppressed the people. Or would you deny even this?
Is that why you wanted to talk to me, Quarek? To throw around accusations?
No, no, that's not what I wanted. We are talking because I want to give you a chance. We know that you are fighting the High Ones, and that you're trying to reconstruct the beacon in order to stop them.
Which makes perfect sense, since the cleansing means the end of all life. Don't you agree?
No, I don't. And if you even remotely understood who the High Ones actually are, and what they represent, you wouldn't either. They are evolution, the ascendance of humanity to a higher level.
What?
Let's just face the facts for a moment. There's no evidence that the cleansing, whatever shape it will take, will be violent. Yes, the Pyreans are gone, but how do we know they've not just simply gone to another place? That they've transformed? The High Ones are not our enemies, Aranthiel. They are the next step of evolution, the envoys of our purpose, that we might become more than the simple-minded creatures we've been during the past millennia. This is what the cleansing actually is. Don't you understand? It's the moment when humanity is relieved of its vices, united, reaching a higher level of existence.
That's absurd.
To you, it might sound that way, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Ever since the gods departed, the High Ones have sent me dreams in which I can see the future, and it's glorious. It's not our destiny to stay human, Aranthiel. With their help, we will be gods, true gods, not the idols you have worshipped. It's the truth, whether you accept it or not.
By the... people are dying, Quarek. There's war all over Veen. The dead are rising from their graves, and people are killing each other for no apparent reason. Whatever you have dreamed, does this look like some kind of ascension to you?
I know about the red madness, but has it ever occurred to you that it follows a pattern as well? That it only befalls certain people?
Whom?
People whose thinking is in shackles. People whose minds are not free, and who are superstitious and ignorant. Such as the people in your country, to whom you have denied the truth about their gods.
What? Are you saying that the red madness only affects religious people? People who still believe in the Lightborn?
Yes. Religiosity is a pattern of thought that favors irrationality over reason. Someone who thinks in these patterns is simply not ready for the advancement, and the red madness is simply a way to sieve them out. A natural selection, if you will. That's also why you are not affected by it, Aranthiel, because you know that what you and your order fought so hard to keep up over the years were lies.
This is nonsense. There have been cases of red madness in the Order too, and we have seen what the cleansing will bring us in the dreams and in their chronicles, and it has nothing to do with some kind of ascension. Just listen to yourself, Quarek. You talk like a mad prophet. Is that what you want to be?
You react just as I expected. Very well then. Will you at least hear our offer?
Speak.
The cleansing has to happen, and we, the free peoples of Nerim, will make sure that it does. We will not allow your backward thinking to keep humanity from advancing, as it has done for centuries. Therefore, if you don't want a war, you will stop rebuilding the beacon, and you will tell your people the truth about their gods, so that then they, too, can ascend when the time has come. You've said it yourself, Aranthiel. This world has had enough war. Spare it yet another one.
I would if I could. But if these are your demands, then no.
Then we will have to force you. This means bloodshed, Aranthiel, and innocents will die. And all because...
This conversation is over.
Bloody fool. Alma, prepare the attack. He asked for it.
Yes, my lord. What will happen to the prisoners?
The spies, right.
We're at war now, and this means you're my enemies. But as I said, I am a man of my word, and so I'll leave your fate to chance. Samael, put him to sleep, and then put him and his friend on a raft. If they survive, so be it. If not, fair enough.
Well, well, look who's here. How are you doing, silly? Still on the search? Is that so? Honestly, I find that a little hard to believe. But I guess you know what you're doing, don't you? You always did. Come on, let's go inside. I've prepared a little surprise. Or should I say a big one? I suppose that depends on how you look at it. Ta-da-da-da! Look who I dug out. It's Mother and little sister. Aren't they beautiful?
Aren't we beautiful? Aren't we beautiful?
But I suppose what we dead people do doesn't concern you now, does it, my child? Because you are important now. Ha! Can you believe it? He's important now. He is chosen.
Chosen. Chosen.
But you know, I think you've forgotten something amidst all this ballyhoo of prophecies, cleansings, and beacons. That you are weak. You are pathetic. You are worthless. And you are weak. That's what you were back then. That's what you are now. And that's what you'll always be. Saving lives? You? Ridiculous! But then again, maybe we do you wrong. So why don't you just tell us? Why you? Why should you, of all people, be the solution to the problem? Why should you be able to prevent something that has happened to mankind for thousands of years? You! That's right. You don't know. Because you are a stupid, dirty brat. A murdering, stupid brat and nothing else. See? You did it again. You made me unhappy. You made me curse. And cursing is a sin. Don't you understand? I'm only trying to help you to see. This is not you, don't you understand? You are not yourself. And deep down inside, you know it as much as I do.
You know it. You know it.
So, tell me, silly, why is it so hard for you to just let go? Your place is here, in the realm of the dead. So just let yourself fall. It only hurts in the beginning, you know? Then it's like falling asleep. Please, my child, we miss you so much. Little sister wants to play with you again.
Play with you. Play with
And the
you.
two of us, we could go hunting again, like back in the old days. Find ourselves a nice deer, and then have a good, juicy piece of meat for dinner. Wait, do you even listen to me? Hey, you're not supposed to leave yet. You're already here. So why don't you just stay? Please, child, stay with us. 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 Stay with us.
Stay with me. Hey, can you hear me? Wake up. Bad dreams? A lot. We got damn lucky. That raft Korek put us on was about as seaworthy as a paper ship. But thank the sun, that fisherwoman over there took us in. She's headed for Duneville, and we should arrive soon. Couple of hours. That spell Korek's mute buddy put on you must have been quite a doozy. They felt a blow to the back of the head would suffice for me. Guess I was the lucky one. Yeah. That guy should really go easier on the bottle, if you ask me. But it seems that the thousands who follow him see things differently. As if the High Ones alone weren't threat enough. Now they have a self-proclaimed messiah to back them up. That's just peachy. Well, as I heard it, he thinks the cleansing is evolution. We become higher beings. We ascend to a new level of existence, so to speak. And he thinks the reason for the red madness in Enderal is that people still haven't learned the truth about the death of the Lightborn. They're still superstitious, so the sickness weeds them out. Natural selection. And yeah, it sounds absurd. I guess people always see what they want to see. I'm afraid so. According to the fisherwoman, the first of Korek's battleships have already arrived near Duneville. It'll take them a while to get the rest of their fleet over here from Narim, but still. Enderal isn't ready for this. Not at all. Most guards haven't tried their weapons on anything other than training dummies. Or at the most, bandits. In other words, we're screwed. Well, I guess first of all, we should be grateful we made it out alive. I bet that if Korek would have known your role in all this, we'd be as dead as doornails by now. Once we arrive in Duneville, we should get back to Ark as soon as possible. I'm sure Arenthiel and the others have already written us off as dead. I suggest you ask the fisherwoman how much farther it is to the village. Well, I suppose, first of all, I'll go get my pay. Regardless of what transpired, we fulfilled our mission. After that, I don't know. War is an entirely different story, and ending up beaten to a pulp with a damned warhammer certainly isn't on my priority list. Maybe. The Order might be powerful here in Enderal, but compared to Nerim's army, it's a joke. And maybe... On the other hand, if we don't manage to stop the cleansing from happening, it won't make a difference if I'm here or on Calais. Oh, my, what did I get myself into? I feel like a bloody marionette in a goddamn play. I know. You know, there's one thing I just couldn't get out of my head since all this started. Does mankind deserve to be saved? I mean, have we as a species really made this world a better place? What have we accomplished apart from bloodbaths and wars in the name of the true gods or the right way to see things? And even now that we have a common enemy, we fail spectacularly to pull together. That's pathetic somehow, isn't it? Just pathetic. Heck, I sound like the biggest cynic alive. Let's stop here before it gets any worse. Go talk to the fisherwoman. You're really curious, aren't you? But yes, there is something that troubles me apart from the obvious. It's my sister. Well, I told you that we haven't talked much since... You know, since the thing with our family happened. A couple of moons before we met, I wanted to change that. And I went to see her at the League of the Apothecary in the Frostcliff Mountains. But she was gone, just like that, and no one knew where she went. It's been troubling me for quite some time now. It's probably nothing, but still, I'm worried.
you're awake. How are you? No offense, but you look battered. Don't thank me. I only did what every other path-abiding citizen would have done as well. Your friend, he told me about the Neramis. War. I have trouble believing it. Huh. From your lips to Malthus's ears. Those bloody Neramis. Nothing is sacred to them anymore, is it? For millennia there was peace between the lands of the civilized world. And now this. They're heretics, if you ask me. No more and no less. They should be hung from trees, all of them. Anyway, I guess it's best if you rest a little more. As I said, you look as though you need it. I'll wake you up when we arrive. We'll do our best. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but right now I'd give a lot for the Art Guard to be here instead of these Duneville watchdogs. At least they know how to wage a war. In any case, you should get back to the Sun Temple as soon as possible, and show those Neramis bastards whose country this is.
We will. And again, thanks for your help.
Don't mention it.
So, we should be back within range of the teleport runes. I'm gonna head straight back to the temple. See you there.
Walk blessed, my son.
Move along.
Ridiculous. We have to at least try to negotiate.
You know his demands. There's no basis for negotiation.
He has not seen what we have seen. The writings, the memories of the Prophet. If he just realized...
My dams, my sirs.
Shit. What took you so long? And where is Constantine?
That's a long story.
And those were his final words? I can't believe it.
Simply another victim of the High Ones. If we do not activate the beacon soon, he won't be the last.
Oh, right. The beacon. If it's activated, we'll simply glow the red madness away, won't we? Or maybe we could, for once in all this, do something that actually makes sense, and focus our resources on finding an alchemistical or thaumaturgical solution to this problem, rather than trusting in a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, by the Prophet's ass, won't you just shut up for a minute? All day long you do nothing but babble, getting on our nerves, and nothing you ever say gets any closer to a fucking solution. So why don't you just shove off to one of the bathhouses? Go torture the washerwomen with your never-ending lamentations. That would be helpful for a change.
You will take that back.
Will I? Come here and make me. I'd be delighted.
Blasphemy!
Guard your
This
tongue,
is blasphemy.
wild mage, or...
Or what? Are you gonna kill me? That's what you do best, you and your fucking order.
Silence! You are angry, Lishari Pegast, and I understand why. But in the moment you let that anger destroy this alliance, Firespark's sacrifice will have been in vain. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
No. No, it isn't.
Good. I am tired of this endless bickering. We have a responsibility, and we will fulfill it.
Well said, Aranthiel. And how exactly do you think we are going to do that? Without the sources, the beacon is as worthless as a heap of rusty iron.
The chroniclers are on it, and they will find the answer. Novice, tell Commander Aaron to join us. We need to plan the defense of the land. You, Prophet, will come to me as soon as you have recovered. Now, let us get to work.
Please, Tilor. Jorik is right.
The sun be praised, you've made it.
This is madness.
Constantine.
I know.
He didn't deserve this. It's just not fair.
The beacon is all that we have.
Yes, the beacon. The beacon. The beacon. We don't even know
Then
what
none
the
of us are
thing
strong
does,
enough.
let alone if it will work.
Yeah,
For
Constantine
starters,
wasn't
only
exactly
because
the most
that
approachable
damn
fellow,
machine is putting the
but he
lives
was a
of
damn
thousands
skilled
at
mage.
risk, only because of some vague
I have to talk to you as soon as possible. It's about the seal in that letter we found on the mercenaries in Old Rashengrad. I believe I'm onto something. Their client is from Enderal. From Ark, to be more precise. Let's not talk here, though. Meet me in the Dancing Nomad. I'll be in the first room upstairs, right at the end of the staircase. And hurry.
Afraid of making sacrifices for what you believe in.
Yes, see you there.
Sacrifices. This is about your damn pride, Tilor. Nothing else.
Irrelevant. This madman, Koarek. He has completely reshuffled the cards. Now we not only have to deal with the High Ones, but also with him and his fanatics. However, there's also good news. You have probably seen it already. Physically, yes. And we also know how it works now, and how it can put an end to the cycle. It is easier than we thought. The beacon was constructed for one thing, to destroy the High Ones. Once reconstructed, infused with energy and activated, lit, as the Pyreans called it, it can banish the High Ones from this plane of existence. Immaterial, indeed. Essentially, they can be compared to the cold or to shadows. Omnipresent elements, yet we cannot touch them. Energy, if you will. However, there is a counterpart to each energy. Cold and fire, shadow and light. The High Ones and the beacon. Yes. Imagine a torch driving away the darkness in the moment it is ignited. This is what the beacon can do, except that the banishing will be permanent. Yes, as I said, it needs to be infused with energy before it can be lit. I take it you have noticed the 3 sockets on its base. They are what it draws its power from. Once they are filled, the beacon can be ignited and the High Ones will be undone, once and for all. At least, if the old writings are true. The only thing left for us to find out is what these energy sources are. But we are close. Give the Arcanists some more time and I will let you know if there's any news. In the meantime, get equipped accordingly. Some of the Neramis have landed already, and outbreaks of the Red Madness become more and more frequent as we speak.
Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor.
Well, it's only fair to tell you. You've always been honest to me, so I will do the same. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Thousand Fires? Between 8,192 and 8,202, there was an underground movement in Kira called the Red Half Moon. They were brought into being by a group of intellectuals and philosophers who, under all the freedom of thought Saldrine granted them, started questioning the reign of the Golden Queen, and thus the Lightborn themselves. Saldrine saw himself as the god of knowledge, and accordingly he reigned his country. In Kira, no opinion is forbidden, which is why it is home to countless magic schools and universities, where people do nothing but discuss the reason for being all day long. An appealing thought if you hear it for the first time, but a cunning people isn't easy to reign. There have been more revolts and riots in Kira than bones in a graveyard, and the Red Half Moon was the worst of them. Correct, just as my son did. But other than him, they fought like cowards. Terror, dust crystals planted in the marketplaces, and assassinations, you name it. If they killed innocents, they blamed the Golden Queen, and if they killed her soldiers, they celebrated themselves as liberators. However, they never succeeded in putting her down, and neither did she in destroying them, which is why the court turned to the Lightborn for help. A division of the Holy Order led by me, a young keeper of barely 30 winters. None to be taken seriously. You know, not everywhere is the Order as present as here on Enderal, or as it once was on Narim. In Kira, we were ridiculed. I saw the Kiranian keepers who served the Golden Queen. A bunch of decadent gluttons who had dedicated themselves to the court's banquets rather than to the will of the gods. They were pathetic. A moon after our arrival, we received an anonymous tip on where one of the half-moon's bases was supposed to be located, in a small coastal village. As we entered it, we were greeted by the township's elders, and the villagers themselves had gathered behind them. You should have seen how they stared at us, as if we were plunderers. I should have seen by then that something was wrong.
My glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor in life.
Yes, but if there was one thing the Red Half Moon was good at, it was sowing lies. According to them, we were nothing but butchers who executed everyone unable to recite the revelation word for word. That's what they wanted us to think, and they did a good job at that. A veiled person here, an archer on the rooftops there. I got nervous, because villagers or not, they bested us in numbers, and they had kettled us. Then a man seemed to charge at us, and I gave the order to draw weapons. It was just the spark they needed. No, not a fight. A massacre. The villagers had pitchforks and shepherd staffs, and we had shadow steel swords, let alone the fact that we were trained warriors. I realized that I had made a mistake a split second after it started, but it was too late by then. My men, they slaughtered them all, like pigs. At the end of the day, 300 people were dead, and only 10 of them were keepers. Have you ever been in a big battle? Even if my men would have stopped, the villagers were blinded with rage and panic. No. From the moment I gave the order, it was too late. Well, what better proof of the Lightborn's cruelty is there than a division of keepers who, out of pure wickedness, slaughtered an entire village, women and children included. If the people had already distrusted us before that, that distrust had turned into hatred, and nothing could have changed that, not even the Golden Queen's heralds. We set sail back to Enderal a week later. 2 years after that, the Red Half Moon destroyed itself due to infighting. Ironic, isn't it? Maybe. The Lightborn and the Grandmaster back at that time showed the compassion I wouldn't grant myself. But I learned one thing, and that is that I will never again let fears about my own life influence my decisions. What happened in Kira was the consequence of my own cowardice, and my unwillingness to give my life for a just cause. That will never happen again.
Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament.
What?
And thy path I will honor in life as in death.
Really? That's interesting. Provided this is true, that means that the emissaries aren't just people who fight the cleansing. They are people who fight for it too. And that also means that whoever granted us our powers and our purpose isn't an enemy of the High Ones, but a neutral party. I beg your pardon. What? And the same goes for me? That's ridiculous. They wanted to deceive you, to sow discord. I saw the threat the cleansing posed before anyone else did. And without me, we would have never come that far. Something changed inside me since I fled from my prison. I feel it. And it is the same thing that made you a part of all this. Now, enough of this.
The prodigy, huh? Apparently we
shards of this signal storm. I didn't think I would ever say it.
There you are. I've been looking for you for days. Do you remember me? You, helped me back in the ruin. Shh, not here. I just came to thank you. Thanks to you, I was able to pay me debts. And both my family and the farm are safe once again. As you can imagine, I don't have any money to show you my gratitude. But I thought that this might be useful to you. Take it. It's the least I can do. I should thank you. Walk blessed, and may your path always be even.
Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you all over the city. The commander wants to... see you.
Some people just don't know
Commander
their
Aaron,
place in the
you
world.
mean? Why?
Nothing to be scared of.
These century.
Please.
Evening.
Prophet, are you in there?
Kiraj, what? Why? What have you done? Watch your tongue, Shari. Be glad that the blood is already dry, or else you'd be nothing but a pile of bones by now. Forgive me. I just can't believe it. Anyone but Lashari? Yes, I know, Nea. But she was a good woman. We both know that we're not involved in this. So please tell me why you and Lashari wanted to meet up here? Were the two of you close? It's been a while since there was a man at Lashari's side. So why? What? Then this bastard got wind of it. Oh, Kirash, Lashari, why the secrecy? Maybe the murderer has left a clue. We have to search. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. Yes, you do that. But come back to the temple as soon as you're finished, all right? The Archmagister has found something out about those sources we need for the beacon, even though we paid a high price for it.
Now, some people just don't know their...
Yes, of course it's...
It's just how they are.
You're a foreigner, aren't you?
Saira, I heard about what happened on Half Moon Island. It's a wonder you and that mercenary made it back alive. But war, it just seems so unreal. How has it come to this? Now we not only have to fight these High Ones, but also some fanatic who thinks he knows best? I know you mean that as a joke, but I'm afraid it's not too far from the truth. Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? Why are we so eager to be at each other's throats? I'm not sure. You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually care. So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless. As if we all know that if we keep going like this, we're headed for a catastrophe. But instead of changing course, we just stand by and watch. Do you know the feeling? Yes, I mean, is it so hard to see that this world could be such a better place if we'd only care a tiny bit more about something other than what's happening in front of our doorsteps? You understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? You know that feeling too. I wish I could do that. Whenever I think about it, I find it so hard not to get angry. Take all those upper city snobs with their colorful garments and exotic perfumes. They could put all that money to such good use if only they wanted to, but no, they don't, because they just don't give a damn about the poor. Sometimes I imagine going down there, grabbing one of them by the collar and dragging them down into the Undercity. And there I'd force them to see, just for once. But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. Who fights against poverty if he's never suffered from it? And once again, you've had to listen to another deluge of my whining. I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Yes, that, might be the case. Saira, I have to ask you something. You said these things to me. Why? No, but I just don't think that's a good idea. I'm not made for things like that. I've never felt the need for them, and honestly, I think it's dangerous. At least for me. No, never. Because you know a lot about me, Saira, and I appreciate our contact, which is the only reason I just told you all of this. So please, respect my wishes. Let's leave it at that for now. We've still got a lot to do. The first of Korak's ships will reach shore soon, and we have to be prepared.
The fabled prodigy. I hope you can live up to what they say about you.
Oh, hey.
I really do.
The prodigy, huh? Apparently we owe
if it
you
isn't
for
the
shards
prophet.
of this
What's wrong?
sigil
You
stone.
look troubled.
I didn't think I would ever say this, but
Then I envy you. There hasn't been a war on Enderal for centuries. Just the thought that this fanatic Korak and his troops are sailing toward us as we speak, it's a lot to take in. At least now we have a trail regarding the beacon. At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in Old Dothugrat, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine. This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls. Old jewels, sometimes known as Blackstones. They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Octwind. They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like. No, at least not with any known magic. And that's what's so strange about it. Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Katua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her.
Is it now? Remind me not to burst into tears.
Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me. Not quite.
Those who owned the pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell him your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course. We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes. Correct. The pearl's magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence. That's what we thought too, but it seems that we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak. That's a question I've been asking myself since we first learned of the cycle. Who knows? Maybe they like for us to suffer. Or maybe they see us as we see ants, whose lives simply mean nothing. Or maybe the very concept of intentions is meaningless to them. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power.
Which is why you will find them for us. No, because we know what we are dealing with. Unlike those who fell victim to the stones. Imagine them as a powerful, magical sword. A fool won't know how to wield it and will eventually cut himself with it. A seasoned warrior, however, can use its power for his purposes. Which doesn't mean, however, that we will be careless with them. What we need is their energy, and once we have transferred that to the beacon, their shells will be useless to the High Ones. That's right, but we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
And hurry. I take it you have already noticed this. Nerime's troops are roaming our land and building outposts, and the Red Madness is also getting worse as we speak. Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
A machine that can banish these High Ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
Yes.
Can I help you?
The fable...
Oh, you're here. I thought you were in the city.
No, the Archmagister ordered me back. Feels good to be
A
here.
machine that can banish these High Ones.
Yes?
The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they? I still can't
Ah,
believe
yes. Here.
it really happened.
There they are. I've marked the most relevant parts, so you don't have to read the entire book. Just see if they tell you anything that could give you a clue as to where you should start searching. I will be waiting at the beacon.
How it happens. The infection.
What do you mean?
The red eyes and the obvious madness only happen in the last stages of the disease. What happens before that? And how? How can one tell someone else is afflicted?
Why? Scared
Let's
you've
hope
caught
he
it,
knows
are
what
you?
he's doing. That is not funny. You know, I've had this feeling that there's something wrong with Yarrow for quite some time, long before it happened.
You don't say. His wife was murdered. Don't you think that would have thrown you out of bounds too? Path-abiding Enderalian or not?
That's not what I mean. Her death broke me. Yes. But there was no hatred in him, only grief. The hatred only came shortly before he did it.
Sorry, but I don't really see what you're going at.
I'm just trying to say that, well, maybe we all should be careful. Maybe it was Euro's grief, his instability, that made him susceptible to the red madness in the first place. But let the Flameling and the Apothecari find that out. I have to go now, brother.
Yeah,
Walk
as
blessed.
if.
That's beyond me.
Oh, hey.
Yes. The